My name is Rachel Heafield. I am the Senior Communications Specialist and Graphic Designer at Linfen. Linfen is a nonprofit. It's a human services organization. So what that means is they work with people with disabilities. So that involves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, people with what we call psychiatric conditions, or people with mental health needs or mental illness, people with behavioral health challenges, and people with brain injury. And what we do is we provide residential services, employment services, so people can find or learn job skills and get a job. We also have services where people can go to the day services during the day so they can learn about skills that are important in their life. We try to get people as independent as they can, so they can live in their community and become productive members of their community, and not just have to stay home and feel isolated. So I think with social media has been a real big help to get our message out to people. I think we did a technology and health conference last year, and that really put us on the map of being at the forefront of mental health care as well as using technology. We had a speaker that came that said this is the first mental health and technology conference that I even know about, so I think that really put us on the map. And he was very impressed about our Twitter usage, and I think that's just getting our name out. In the past, I think our company didn't want to necessarily use social media and be a presence because of stigma. They were worried about patient safety and wanted to not be in the news so much, but I think that's changing, and I think we're getting a lot of good coverage. I forget who came, but we had a local rep come to one of our homes after she saw our videos on YouTube. So I think there is a sea change going on where people are more welcoming of social media and getting our name out there. I think there is a sea change where people, I can't speak personally, but I notice that people are more accepting putting out their identity on social media, and that includes maybe having mental health needs or an intellectual and developmental disability, and to know that's not limiting them, but that makes a part of who they are, and they're willing to express that. So I mentioned in the conference, in our panel, that I put up awareness days, and I think people get excited about awareness days because it shows part of their identity, or that they can show that they're inclusive of diversity and everything like that. I do know that some of our clients are pushing, they like the idea of mental health pride. They like having pride in their mental health, and it's not a disability, it just helps who they are. It's a part of their identity. It's not just all their identity, but not feeling ashamed about it, but feeling prideful about it. I get excited by the technology we use because I saw that we had high compliance issues in some of our apps that we have. I know that some apps, they don't have high compliance. People will use like an exercise app, and in 3 days they're just like, oh, I don't want to use this anymore. But I get excited to hear about this because our services, it's not just using the app, but it's part of our service that we provide. And I think having someone on the other line that's a staff person, checking up on the person, how are you, and having the person come in and learning more about the app and everything, and how they can communicate with us really helps for adherence. And I'm excited to see this keep going because you really don't see that, and I think that's really exciting. And I think a lot of the people really liked using the app, and I just think you can't just give someone an app and say, here you go, but just having it into the services and everything. So I think that's something I would like to see more of. We have different apps and everything, and just not with Linfen per se, but I know that there's been studies of children with autism, and they respond better to machines because they don't see them as judging them. So I just think that's really interesting to see how technology works with our health. Well, I feel like in mental health and developmental disabilities, we have a long way to go. We're still using fax machines and pagers, so I think we will slowly adopt technology. There could be a concern, but again, with the adherence with the app, I don't think if it was just robots, people wouldn't respond to it. Knowing that there's someone else on the other end caring about that, I think that's what helps the adherence. So I think we'll find that a robot can only take us so far in healthcare, but without another person there to show that they care, I don't think it's going to be able to take over everything. I think technology can be used as a tool, and it can be either a positive thing or negative. It's not just all negative, and it's not just all positive. It can be a double-edged sword, but you have to navigate how best to use it. I think as younger generations grow up, they're more used to using technology, and it's interesting as you grow, you might be worried more about new technology, but the stuff that you've used since a kid, you're a little less concerned about it. So, but that is something to be interested in, and to be concerned if, insurance will be like, well, we only want robot doctors down the road because they're cheap. And I think patient outcomes would not do well in that, because you want someone who listens, who's empathetic. Maybe if we can get robots that are very empathetic, maybe that will work, but I feel like we still have a long way to go on that. Well, consent is a big topic. I mean, people, especially with mental health conditions, don't want their name publicly or their photo. Some people are like, no, I don't want my photo taken. I think that's an issue. It might be different in the research study if not everyone knows that. There are different levels of consent. They may be okay to be consented for an internal research project. They may not be. They may not want to consent for general public, for everyone to know who they are. They may not want to be in a research project and then come out and be like, I was one of the participants and this is what I had and blah, blah, blah. So there's different levels, I think, of consent that we deal with. Sometimes people are only comfortable with having their photos internally. Sometimes their stories, they're okay with having it out there. I did have a gentleman once who said, you can take my photo, but I want to look at it. And if it's good, then we can put it in the public. And so I sent it to the staff member, and she showed it, and he said, okay, that's okay. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And kind of last question. Overall, do you see technology helping raise the bar, but just improve everybody's access to, whether it be mental health or healthcare as a whole, or just marketing to people as a whole?
I do worry, though, that if some people don't have access to the internet, that could be a hindrance down the road as more and more information is on there. We do get a lot of people contacting us, I just learned about your services, can I learn more about it? So we are reaching out, reaching more people, but on the flip side, we work with people that might deal with homelessness, substance misuse, or substance abuse, so they may not have access to the internet, and that could be a problem. But a lot of them also have cell phones, so it's just being able to make sure that everyone has internet access, but I think it can really help with giving people skills that they want to learn.
Good.